Hi everyone, it's the Tides Changing here, and welcome to part 2 of Let's Renovate Oakenstead. In this part, I'm going to continue on with the landscaping and start moving around the side of the house. But before getting into things, I did want to say that I appreciate all the feedback that I got on the first part, and I was really happy to see that so many of you are enjoying this series so far, so I'm really looking forward to continuing on with it and seeing how this house ends up looking. Before continuing on with the landscaping, there was a really quick little change that I did want to make to what I did in the last part. So Mudita 18 and 9 and Swiftly Simmer said that this milk jug decoration was a little bit out of place. I meant it as more of a decorational kind of thing than an actual functional milk jug, but I could see how it looked kind of weird, so I'll just replace that. We can go with this plant that came with the movie Hangout stuff, although I do want to see... Yeah, let's go with the white and pink so it's a little bit simpler looking, although do we have maybe one with a little bit more black in it since there is already a lot of white out here, or we can just go with that one. Actually, never mind, I like the white more. Leslie also said that I should go back to the white color for these chairs, so I'll just do that. And there were a few comments saying that I should go with black columns, but I personally don't think, I don't know, there's something about black columns that I don't really like, so I'm just gonna stick with the white ones. Also, when I was looking at the front here, I was thinking that instead of having this fencing along the front here, that it might look better to instead put a roof over this little area. Yeah, I think that would definitely look better than having that fencing. So we'll just get a gable roof like this, bring it back a little bit. Probably gonna want to lower that a little bit as well. Yeah, I think about there's good. And then we just have to get the same trim and everything on it. Actually, that one's kind of hard to clone, so I think it's this trim right here that's being used. Yeah, it looks like that. Alright, bring that in a little bit, get the wallpaper on, and then we're good to go. We just have to get some kind of window in here, I think. So we can either go this one, this little rounded one, or I was thinking this one right here. I think the rounded one, yeah, it looks a little bit better. So that's what it looks like with that there instead. I think that's definitely an improvement. I didn't really want to change anything else that was done in the last part because I'm pretty happy with everything. So now we can finally move on to doing some more of the landscaping. I also wanted to fence in part of the backyard here, so I was thinking we could either go with the same fence that was used around the front or with a hedge fence. I have really been liking the hedge fence lately. Let me just get the grid on here. I'm gonna get it, oh whoops, let's get it 2 away from the edge of the lot there, and then in the very back I'm just gonna bring in 1 tile away. Alright, let's do the same thing over there, then get it back around here to the other side. I think that's plenty of space. I was thinking before about bringing it into about halfway back on the side of the house, but I think right here is fine. That's plenty of space. Okay, so this is what it looks like if we use the hedge fence, and then let's check really quick and see what it looks like if we use the same fence that's used around the front. Oh, yeah, there we go. It actually changed the right thing. I think the hedge fence actually looked a bit better. I think it was good having something different around the back. So I'll just go with that. We do also have a slightly, yeah, let's go with a slightly taller hedge fence. That's probably what I should have used in the first place. Okay, that's all good. I think it'll all look better once the landscaping is finished. So I do also want to put in one of these gates on each side. Where is... I think that's about center. Yeah, that is. Okay, so we'll just go with that spot. Get another one over here. That should be about even. I'm not sure if it's even on each side. Okay, no, there's actually a little bit more space on this side of the house, but I'll just leave it 5 away from the house like that. The next thing I wanted to do is get the path going between the 2 different gates, and hopefully I can get it looking even on either side. That's always the tricky part, but I'm just going to keep the grids on, which will make it a little bit easier to do that, because I can use them as a guide. So I'll just have each path come out straight from the gate for a little bit, then I'll try to have it curve a bit. Not sure where to start it exactly, so I guess we can go curve it across this way. Let's try that. Actually, let's bring this part here down this way a little bit more. I think to about there should be good. We'll go with this brush and then just kind of curve it over here. I'm gonna have to fix that. Oh, whoops, I should probably put that about as soft as it can go. And then to here. Hopefully I can get it to look pretty much the same over on the other side. I'll just go over this with the larger brush. Why is it? There we go. I don't know why I wasn't selecting that. Okay, I think that looks sort of decent. Definitely gonna have to touch it up a bit over here. Alright, let's check to make sure that looks fairly good. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of hard to get it perfect. And then I have to try to do the same thing over on the other side, which is gonna be a bit tricky, but I'll go do that now. Alright, the paths are all done now, so I'm going to start on landscaping this side here. I was thinking about putting a whole bunch of plants near this oak tree, but with the gardens we have in here, I don't think that's really necessary. Like what I was thinking about was just having flowers all in here, but I think that'd be a little much, so I'm just going to stick to putting a few plants right around the tree, and also, whoops, we do not have that soft enough. Yeah, I just wanted to fix up the dirt under here a little bit. And then we can stick a few rocks and some other flowers and that sort of thing right around this tree. Just so it looks like there's a little bit more going on around it. Let's also get one of these. What else can we get? There was that shrub thing. Yeah, this thing right here that looks like grass. So we can have some of that around it. Don't really want to put too much right around this tree. So I think we can just... yeah, we can just stick with that. I was also thinking it might look nice to take some of those really tall shrubs and stick them on the other side of the gate. Yeah, these ones right here. I wanted to see how that looked. I'm not sure if I want to do that going to the backyard because we do have the hedge fence there, so we might not need more plants. Alright, how does that look? Yeah, I like that. I may need to move this in a little bit more, and let's also get some dirt under that. Let's go with this brush size. Okay, that's about done. And we also touch up the dirt under here a little bit. I'm not sure if I really need anything else over here. We could put in a little, maybe a little something right there. Like this perhaps? Might look kind of out of place to just have a... no, I think that's fine. We can stick with it. And let's also get some more trees in here. So we could add in the willow tree. That'd definitely be a nice touch. We definitely have the space for that. Although we do need to get that a bit further away from the oak tree. Yeah, it's kind of intersecting that a bit. Alright, I think then... let's get over this way a little bit more. Okay, that should be good. So let's get the dirt under there and then get some more plants. I feel like there should be something in that corner at the front of the yard, but then again, if I stuck another tree in there, I think that would be a bit too many trees, and I don't want to put too much landscaping into this yard. I mean, I want it to look lush, but then I don't want it to look just too overgrown. Actually, how does this look? Okay, never mind. That's a little bit too big if we size it up, so I'll just stick a few of these in. And then we get some other stuff, like the rocks and everything. Let's go with another one of these. And then one of these as well. Could also throw in some of those low-lying flowers. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, I think that's good. And I was also thinking that we could have some smaller areas in here with, yeah, we got a bit of distance. So like, I was thinking we could have a smaller area kind of going like that with a bunch of flowers in it right here near this gate. Actually, let's go with the square right up against this fence, and then I'll use a circle tool to shape it as we go out from that. Okay, no, that was a little bit too close. Okay, how do we want this to look? Could go like this. Okay, I think that's fine. And try to do something sort of similar on the other side here. And I guess I'll border it with plants the same way I did the front courtyard type area. I didn't want to have plants all along the side of the house. I was thinking about doing that, but I think that might be a little bit too many. Okay, there we go. That should be good. Okay, that should be fine. So we just have to get the plants in. I was looking at pictures of mansion landscaping earlier, and I saw where some of them, they'll just have a row of the same kind of plant. So I wanted to try that out with this place. So first of all, I'll get some of these in over here. And then maybe like a row of this kind of plant. Or maybe this should be in the back. Yeah, this should probably be more towards the back here. Okay, so we'll get one of those up front. And then we could have something a little bit smaller in front of there, like maybe just these simple flowers. I just wanted to try doing something a little bit different with the landscaping right here. Okay, so how does that look? I think that actually looks pretty good. You all can let me know what you think of this for right here. Yeah, I didn't want to do the same exact thing I did around the front, where I just had a bunch of different plants mixed in, just trying to do different things in different places. So we'll do the same thing and line this up here, and then get another line of this kind of plant in here. Just gotta get a couple more of these, and alright, that is good. So for over on this side, I did like how they had the garden boxes running along the path. So I actually wanted to do that over on this side. So I mean, at least it's kind of different than what they had before because it's on the other side of the house. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but I just liked how it looked over there. So what I want to do on this side. Not sure what I'm going to do on the other side. Instead, maybe some more trees. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the other side in this part or not. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't really have too much else to do on this side. I could build a playground equipment over on the other side, but I don't think I really need to do that because the backyard would probably be a better spot for that sort of a thing. I just want to check to make sure that the spacing here is about even. Yeah, that's pretty even. Okay, let's also get some garden type decorations in here. I believe those were in, yes, they were this category, so we'll just stick a few of these things out here. I was also thinking I want to do the same thing I did over here right here, because I feel like that area needs something, and I like how that turned out over here near that gate. Okay, do we have anything else to add in? Alright, we had this one right here. I thought there was something else. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to try putting in some plants over here as well. Because I just feel like this needs something. So we're going to go ahead and pick this, just run it along here. I'll have this area be a little bit smaller. Probably won't use that large bush that I used over in the other area. Alright, we'll just do this, have it go here. That's good enough size to me. Ah, whoops, I meant to have that on erase. And that means that I can also probably get rid of that random little plant I stuck in the corner. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. Yeah, we'll get rid of this, and then I'm gonna take these, have them along the edge here, as I did around towards the back gate. Yeah, we'll do that. And then I'll just use this same little flower in here. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Alright, and that is done. How does that Okay, that actually looks a bit better. So I'm really quickly gonna move this tree over and then move all the stuff that was under it since it's getting a little close to the plants we just placed there. Now that I look at it again, I think that this spot over here does need something, so I'll just add in one of those tall shrubs there. And this side is just about done now. Don't really want to put too much else in there. We can also get a look at it kind of down in here. Yeah, I think we're good. I think it might be a little bit much if we go sticking a bunch of stuff along here, so I'll just leave it like this. I did really quickly want to put in some different kinds of terrain paints, just add a little bit of detail. So, what do I want to do? Let's try just adding in a little bit of this, just having it on the as soft as it could be, and just tapping a few times to make it a little bit brighter. There's not really, like, I do this sometimes in my builds, and there's not really a ton of rhyme or reason to it. I just pick a random terrain paint, just kind of just go like this, just to add some variety, so it's not all the same. We can also do that with this flower terrain paint as well. Yeah, so it's not really a ton of thought put into it when I do this, but as you can see, looking at this side versus this side, it does add a little bit of subtle detail to it, I think. So that is something I do sometimes. Okay, so that's it for that side. Now we're gonna move over here. I'm gonna do the same thing with the plants near the gates that I did around the other side, but first let's get this away a little bit. And I don't know if I want to put in a willow tree. I don't want this side to be completely symmetrical. I know I'm not going to be putting gardens in over here, so I was thinking we could add some smaller trees in closer to the house. So maybe I'll just do another oak tree over here, and then we could add in perhaps a hawthorn tree near the house. So yeah, that way it's a little bit different over here. Let's also grab another one of these and put it right over here. I also do want to use the lantern tree that came with movie hangout stuff. I think it's pretty much the same as the regular oak tree, which I really like. So it really fits, it can easily fit into landscaping. I'll definitely, actually let me just stick one of those in the backyard here so I don't forget it. Not that I think I really will. Okay, we'll just have that moved away from that a little bit. Okay, there we go. Some of you may think this is a bit too many trees, but I really like the look of a lot of trees. Plus I see this as an older house, so I figure it would be realistic that it would have a ton of trees growing around it since it's been sitting here for a while. But yeah, I'm just gonna get on with doing gardening the way I did around the other side. That's pretty much all I wanted to do on this side other than touching up the terrain paint a little bit, so yeah, look at it. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think we need to crowd it in with anything else, so I'm just going to do the same thing I did on the other side with the terrain paint. What did I use on the other side? I think I did this first yeah, I think I did the largest over here, then smallest around in these bits, and I did this too. Yeah, I think I also put this down just a little bit. And then lastly, we have the flowers. Yeah, pretty sure that's what I did on the other side. Okay, so this is what the front looks like currently. There wasn't too much more that I wanted to do in this part. Oh, I probably should do something with the terrain paint in this little area right here. Yeah, so we'll just do the same things I did over on the other areas really quick. Let's get that. Okay. That is good. So the comments of the last part, Wallison25 said that I should try using some of that ivy that came with Get Together, which I really do want to do. They said it could go really well with the whole idea that this house is very old, since it does look like a kind of house that's been here for a while. The thing that annoys me about the ivy though is that it doesn't go on the foundations, which just bugs me because that would really look so much better. Although Well, actually, right, if you, I did find in a previous build that if you do size up the ivy, it actually will go on the ground. So never mind, we can take care of that little problem. Although we do have a couple of smaller things of ivy underneath it, but that's not really that big of a deal. Also, does that look? Yeah, I like that color a little bit better. We can, you know, let's get rid of these pieces over here and then just stick it with it in the middle. We could even size that larger piece down a little bit. You know, let's size this one up. And we'll just go with the regular old smaller piece here. That is the nice thing about having a build like this, is that you could size the ivy, use different sizes of the ivy, and it does allow you to have a little bit more detail. Actually, let's size that down and try to get it as low as we can get. I think it looks a little bit better sized down like this, but I did like that with the largest size, we could actually get it down on the ground. Oh well, let's... Okay, we'll get this one slightly above here. Then we could have some other pieces going above here. I could always fix this up a little bit in the next part, but I do like the look of this so far. We could... Does that... that might be covering the window a little bit too much over there. So we can just have it over here going like that, not all the way to the roof, and then perhaps we should just leave that as it for the ivy. So when you look at it like this, it does look pretty nice. Oh, something I did in the pub build that I'm working on is that I took some of this kind of ivy and then I just stuck it in here and there in it, so you get little pops of flowers through, so it's not just all green ivy, and then you can get some nice variation with that sticking up through it. Actually, that does look pretty good sized up. Okay, so we'll stick with that there. Now we'll leave that as it for that kind. And do we want to do this on the other side as well? Yeah, I think this side could use some. I'm going to try not to do it the exact same way. So perhaps over here we could actually go with the largest size, since there's a little bit less going on right up against the house. Okay, right. I want to size that up. I'm so glad they added ivy in to get together. I was so happy when I saw that, because this does look better than trying to use those planters as ivy. Okay, I think that's enough. I don't know, maybe I'll add more in next time, but I think for now that's enough ivy over here. Oh, we can add a little bit more in over here. Yeah, we'll just add a little bit near this window. Okay. I think I'll leave that as all the ivy for now. You all can let me know what you think of it so far. I'm gonna have that be all that I do in this part. So the next part, I'll move around to the backyard, which will probably take me a couple parts to do. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and bye!